always wanted to be a vet. I always wanted to help animals. And people used to say, oh, it's too hard, you have to study too hard. But I know I'm a very determined person, so didn't let that put me off. And I love it. I just love my job. And I was really enjoying being a conventional vet up to a point when then I found just things weren't working. I felt that there was something missing, that they needed a little bit of a boost, to tell their immune system or whatever. Now I know it's the vital force to fix themselves. And so when I discovered homeopathy just at the right time, a whole new world opened up for me.
So what do you feel is important for people to know about treating your animal with homeopathy?
It's a way that you...
This is Tully Kruger speaking, and I want to tell you about today's guest, Emily McAteer, who is a homeopathic vet in Ireland. If you are a homeopath or a homeopathic vet or a conventional vet and you'd like to learn more about using homeopathy in your veterinary practice, then be sure to join the British Association of Homeopathic Veterinary Surgeons Conference from 19 to 21 September in Sussex. Find out more at their website BAHVS.net. To learn more about Emily, visit portmonarchvets.ie. Thanks for listening.
Welcome to the Homeopathy Hangout podcast, where we discuss all things homeopathy from around the world. And now our mum and your host, Eugenie Kruger.
Hello, homies, and a warm welcome to Homeopathy Hangout, where today we get to hang out with Emily McAteer, all the way from Ireland. Welcome to the show, Emily.
Hi, Eugenie. Thanks for having me on. Good to be here.
It's a pleasure. We get to hang out in a few weeks' time in Bali together. I actually have to go check when I've scheduled this episode for, but by the time this comes out, it might be just like a week or two before we get to meet each other in person at the Unleashing Homeopathy Bali conference. I was so excited when you said that you're coming because this is quite a far travel for you to come.
Yes, it is. I've never been that far before, but it's going to be well worth it. I had so much FOMO from last time.
Are you staying for a little while? Are you just going for the conference? You've got to stay a bit on as well.
I'm going to go for 3 weeks. Going to make it a lifetime. Yeah.
Good. I can highly recommend the quad biking. If I haven't sent you the details yet, I'll send it to you. Are your kids coming along too?
No, just me. And I'm coming with a very dear friend of mine who used to work with me. And homeopathic vet, Sally. So,
well, make sure you get lots of massages. There's lots of good shopping. The people in Bali are so lovely and friendly. You got to have a great time. Anyway, that's not what they're here to talk about. We are here to talk about veterinary homeopathy. And you know the drill because you've listened to some episodes in the past, but I want you to tell our listeners how you first discovered homeopathy.
I always knew about homeopathy because my uncle was a homeopathic doctor. But I never really paid much attention to it. And during vet school, it was completely ridiculed, when we had one lecture, which basically told us it didn't work and it was irresponsible. So I put it aside and became a conventional vet. And it was only when I picked a remedy off the shelf in a pharmacy, thinking it was an antihistamine for my son, who had terrible hay fever, brought it home, looked at it and went, oh, it's a remedy. Well, I'll give it anyway. The next morning, he was completely better. He was just, all of his sinuses were cleared. His eyes were bright. And the funny thing was his bed was covered in snot. And that's when I knew that it wasn't just getting rid of the symptoms. There was a deep cure there. It had cleared him out completely. So that was Nelson's Pauline.
Wow. And was your uncle still around to witness that happening?
Yes, he was. Yes. And he'd given me some books. So I already had some books to hand to start delving into it. Yeah.
Did he say, I told you so? Or did he stay quiet?
No, he's quietly happy about it, yes. Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. And so you are a vet conventionally, but also like a homeopathic vet. And I see you're enrolled in Dynamis as well, and you treat people too. Tell us a little bit about all of that. Like, firstly, what drew you to become a vet? But then also, why do you feel it's important to treat the animal guardians as well?
Yeah, well, I've always loved animals and I always wanted to be a vet. I always wanted to help animals. And people used to say, oh, it's too hard, you have to study too hard. But I'm a very determined person, so didn't let that put me off. And I love it. I just love my job. And I was really enjoying being a conventional vet up to a point when then I found just things weren't working. I felt that there was something missing, that they needed a little bit of a boost to tell their immune system or whatever. Now I know it's the vital force to fix themselves. And so when I discovered homeopathy just at the right time, a whole new world opened up for me. But my kids were small and I didn't have time or the money to study. So I just started using it in practice. So I just started with a few remedies and just built and built. So I knew that all the materia medica, but I had no idea how to repertorize. And it's only when I went and studied it, about 15 years later in Bristol, that, again, more things opened up for me. And it's just such a great job, a great way of life as well. It's a whole, I eat, drink, sleep homeopathy.
Aww. Isn't that cool? I think that's something that's really important to point out, that any practitioner in any modality can use homeopathy. Like, it's actually fine. Go and grab yourself some remedies, like start using it. But then, once you actually get that proper qualification, then you can really do the deep stuff. But it is such a safe thing to use in your practice, whether you're a vet or a kinesiologist or a massage therapist or a counselor or whatever. You can have some basic remedies on hand and kind of like, acutely treat people. It's so wonderful that, you started using it, but it's also even better that you got your got your training as well.
Yeah. I mean, it's so safe. And the way I first started using it was I'd do what I'd normally do, give a conventional treatment like an antibiotic for an abscess, but then I'd add in a remedy like Hepasulf. And then I just found they got better quicker. And then, of course, we always had the arnica for the surgical cases. But then the homeopathy grew and grew. So now I see mainly referral cases just for homeopathy. But the beauty of having my own practice and having the conventional option is that I can use the conventional drugs and the surgery where they're needed. For instance, yesterday I had a case that was a beautiful dog I've been treating for ages. We discovered he had a heart condition. So then I could add in the digoxin and the diuretics and the heart drugs that he needed, because the ultrasonographer, the heart specialist, couldn't believe he was so well and had this really severe heart problem. And I said, that's just the homeopathy. So he can help him.
It's just beautiful how it can work alongside. I love hearing this sort of stuff. But you treat humans as well, right?
Yes. Well, I discovered that, there's such a big bond between pets and their owners, and that the human's issues will affect the pet. And sometimes it's only the human's issues that is making the dog or the cat unwell. So I found that when I was treating the animal, their guardian would often come in seeming weller. But I had a few cases that were really stuck, where the guardian would be contacting me every week, and it became quite difficult. And then I realized if I was able to treat the guardian, then the animal would get better. So I studied to treat people. And one case in particular, this poor guardian, she was just in huge anxiety about her pets. She became my first case in the school of homeopathy in Ireland. And literally after 2 or 3 months of treatment, she stopped contacting me. The dogs got better. It did take a little while, probably after about a year. Now I never hear from her. But I know the dogs are well because I know people who know her, and we have the occasional chat. So, yeah,
that's the poor animals. Hey, like one of my dogs. We've got 2 dogs and 2 donkeys and 2 cats and 6 chickens, and she's lying here at my feet, and she's got some issues, but I'm sure it's actually all our stuff that she's taking on, because she's always with us. I can't go to the toilet or record. She's always like everywhere I go. I swear she's taking all my stress on. Poor dog.
They do it willingly. They really, the dogs, and because I've done a lot about the remedy, laccaninum. I did a talk on mammals, so I got to understand laccaninum really, really well. That's what they do, that they want to, and they take it on, and they're amazing. Cats do it on a different level.
I don't know. You've got a couple of cats as well. Hey, was it Betty Boop and grey one? Or I think I saw.
Yeah, Betty Boop. Yeah. Yeah. Well, Betty's my cosmic cat because she so nearly died. She was very young when I first met her, and she was actually signed over by her owners because they couldn't afford the surgery she needed. And I think I have this feeling that she actually went over. She kind of went over to the other side, but made the decision to stay. And it was her determination to eat, as well as the remedies and the commitment from one of my vets, that kept her alive. Yeah. So she's very, very special. And she's slightly disabled as well. So she's got scoliosis, which was the reason for her illness. So she's very, she meditates with me, and she clears my chakras, and she kind of, when I've had a hard day, she just smooth out the energy around me.
Oh, animals are amazing. Hey, they're so amazing. And you mostly work with small animals, hey?
Yes, yeah, I've had to focus. I mean, I'd love to. I've done a bit of horsework, but no, I was never a farm person. I'm not that familiar with the large animals, so I leave that to other people.
Yeah. You're junior vice president of one organization, you're involved with another organization, you've got all your fingers in all the pies of all the homeopathic vet stuff. Can you just tell us a bit about all that side of things as well?
I think it was Jeremy Sher who said it about Hahnemann's gravestone, saying, "I did not live in vain." And I kind of took that on. I feel I'm going to, and somebody else said it to me, that you're in your best, your health is at its best when you're following your path. So I did a lot of work and meditation of what is my path. And it's in the veterinary field, it's to promote homeopathy and to heal the world through homeopathy. And my field is through animals. So, when the opportunities arise, I seize them. So I was asked to become junior vice president of the British Association of Veterinary Homeopaths. So I said I would, forgetting that I'd become president in 3 years' time. But yes, and then I got a load of Irish vets to join the International Association, because the Irish vets are amazing. I love hanging out with all homeopaths, but the Irish Society were so good to me when I came back to Dublin. I moved back to Dublin 15 years ago and got together with some vets, one of which I'd worked for as a student, Tom Farrington, who's an amazing man. And so he became my mentor, and we always have such great fun when we get together. We have an annual meeting down in the Burren, County Clare. So I thought, we have to get us together and, bring them all and involve them all in what's going on in Europe, because then I had been to a European group and they were great as well. So I've got about 16 vets to join with the International Association. So I'm their representative now.
So you're the representative on the European board for Ireland?
Yes, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I ended that way. I just arrived at the meeting and they went, "Oh, there's Emily. She's the representative." Okay.
That's lovely. I love that you said yes. You seized that opportunity. So what sort of things does the British Association of Homeopathic Vets do?
Well, they represent the homeopathic vets in the UK. It used to be a much bigger group, but they've had a lot of battering from the Royal Veterinary College, who represent vets. There was a statement put out in 2018 saying that you couldn't use complementary medicine as a first-line approach to animal treatment.
Oh, my word.
Yeah, so it caused a lot of vets just moved away from homeopathy for fear of litigation. And of course, their bosses didn't want them to use it either. But they're keeping going. And now we're seeing a change. I really feel this change. I think a lot of people feel it in the world. There's more acceptance of these energy medicines, particularly homeopathy. And I think younger vets are more open to it, whereas 10 years ago, or even 5 years ago, they wouldn't have been. And one of the vets, Tim Cousins, he wrote the Homeopathy for Horses book. He has a niece who's just a new graduate, a new veterinary graduate. So he's kind of got a contact there. So every year we have this congress where we have talks for vets, and it's great. We all come together and it's a weekend of, networking and going to the pub and getting back into it. But we're running a day for newbies, we call them. So any vet that has an interest in homeopathy or is curious, they can come along. It's really cheap. It's like £25 UK sterling for the day. You get lunch as well.
Oh, that's amazing. And where is it?
It's in East Chiddingly in Sussex, in East Sussex. So it's near Gatwick Airport.
Okay. And how do people find out more information about this?
It's from the BAHVS website. I think it's BAHVS.net.
Yeah. Actually, I'm just on here now. And the date, do you know that off the top of your head?
Yeah, that's the 20th for the newbies.
20th of
September, sorry.
Yeah. That's all right. Okay, so 20th of September. Okay, no, great. This episode will be out before then. Okay, amazing. So people can just go to BAHVS, so British Association of Homeopathic Veterinary Surgeons.net, and then the details of the conference is on there. How amazing. You're going to have a busy one because you would just be back from Bali and then you'll be heading there.
Yeah, and I'm presenting a couple of cases for the newbies, and then I'm doing something about helium and hydrogen for the the more experienced vets.
Wow,
and it's
for the animals.
Yeah.
Oh.
I know I never started to see a hydrogen or helium case in animals, but I learned it in Dynamis, and then they started appearing.
Funny how that works, hey?
Yeah.
Interesting. I can't imagine where you would use that. How would you use that for an animal?
the hygiene cases just aren't grounded. The guardians will say something like they've got ADHD, they're, off, just haven't incarnated.
And it's probably the guardian that needs it as well in those cases.
Can be. Yeah. And then the helium tends to be, I had a cat that was, he only just said he's autistic and he's in his own world and not wanting to go out, eating loads, and he did really well on helium.
Oh, sweet. Yeah. That's amazing.
That it's open for professional homeopaths as well, so you don't have to be a vet to attend. There's a separate booking thing for non-vets.
That is really cool because I have a homeopath on my team who treats a lot of, well, I don't know if we can use the word treat. She coaches is the word she uses. She coaches people who need support with their animals. So I'll definitely be telling her about that.
Yeah.
Amazing. So any homeopaths as well as vets who are interested in using, so they don't have to be homeopathic vets, any vet, conventional vet who's interested in learning more about how they can use homeopathy in their practice?
That's right, yes.
Oh, great. And it's just the one day?
It is for the new vets.
For the new vets, okay.
For experienced homeopaths, it's the whole day. John Morgan's going to be there. LMs, yeah.
LMs talking about LMs?
Yeah, just in general.
Okay.
So there will be there for people who don't treat animals.
Because I was going to ask you if there's a particular potency that you like for animals, because some of the people I've had on the podcast have said that for animals you only use low potencies, and others have said, no, you use very high potencies. And so in typical homeopathic style, none of us can agree. But what do you find clinically in your practice?
No, it's always the same potencies. Everybody has their own. Well, I find that animals seem to need lower potencies, but I have gotten into LMs recently and I just love them. Yeah, so I generally use LMs and start at LM and then move. I tried moving up in the Fibonacci series, but they just overshot the mark. So I go up one by one.
Interesting you say about the LMs, because when I graduated, I was using a lot of LMs and maybe I wasn't using them correctly, or, I would just tell the client to take the LM directly instead of doing the, drops in the water, stir it, like take a teaspoon of that. And so I never had that great result. So I just went to the C potencies. But about the end of last year somewhere, I just don't even know why, no idea, but I just started feeling drawn to using LM potencies again. And I've been having such great results with them. And I was thinking, is it that the energy has just changed? And because at the same time I was chatting with a couple of other homeopaths, and they also said spontaneously that they've just started using a lot of LMs lately. And I was saying, I've been doing the same. So I don't know if there's something's shifted. But I've even been using LMs made on the radionics machine that I've had really good results with. And I can't even, I want to laugh at myself when I say this because I'm like, how does that even work? But it does. It's crazy. Yeah. It's lovely with animals.
I have a machine as well. So that gives me the ability to use, to go up through the LMs.
Yeah. And then when you do LMs with animals, do you do like the whole schlep of like, the drops in the water and the stirring or do you just give it to them directly?
So I give them directly.
Okay.
I try to give the animal agency, to give them a choice. So I demonstrate to the owner how to offer the remedy. I learned this from a friend who does zoopharmacology, where you offer the remedy to the animal rather than just, shove it in their mouth. So I let them sniff the bottle first, and then I give them the option, and you'll get a yes or a no, and then I offer them to take a drop from the dropper. And sometimes just drop it in the nose, and that's a dose.
Okay.
They're so sensitive, actually. Sometimes they just receive it by smelling, by olfaction. And you'll see that in the consult room. Usually the dog will come up and take a big sniff. And then there'll be a moment, a kind of like a deciding moment. And then you see their eyes glaze over. And sometimes they'll do this yawn, which is what the zoopharmacologists know well, which is kind of, I think it's discharging of the parasympathetic system or something. But that means, right, I'm done with that. And the energy changes. And
my donkeys do that. They do this yawn when I drum, they'll start yawning. That is really interesting because I have said that to clients sometimes when they ask me about dosing animals, and I heard this from somewhere else as well, so it's not my own original idea, but they mentioned putting water in a bowl, 2 bowls of water. One is clean water and the other one has the remedy in it, and the animal can kind of self-medicate as they need it. And I really like the idea of that.
Yeah, that works well as well. And also that way that you can give them an opportunity to have a break from the remedy.
Yeah.
Because we ourselves, we need to stop an LM, but the guardian often isn't connected enough. And so it's good for them to respect their animal's wishes and just give them a break sometimes. And you don't know. I've had cases that have only needed 2 doses. I've had other cases that need to stay on it for life. So you just don't know how long. Usually a high energy, healthy dog will only need a few doses, whereas your older, chronically ill dog or cat will need to stay on it.
What other you've got the world stage here now on the podcast, which is now in the top 1% of the world globally, I might say. So you've got a few people out there listening. What do you want to tell them about treating animals with homeopathy? Because you've got a few listening ears right now. So what do you feel is important for people to know about treating your animal with homeopathy?
It's the best way to treat them. It's a way that you can really connect with your pet. It really deepens your relationship with your pet when you treat them homeopathically. They are living their best life. I know I'm biased, but I certainly see that with my own dogs. When I take them on the beach and they're just so happy. And there's that connection. You've got that more of a deeper energetic connection with them. We tap in on another level, and I believe in active consciousness and all that. And if you give them homeopathy, or any sort of energy medicine that balances out the vital force, you're going to all be on that same level.
And did I read that you're a Buddhist as well?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that ties in beautifully with your homeopathic practice and with working with animals, I'm sure.
It does. And since I got into Buddhism, I found my remedies work better, more effective. I use my intuition more because I meditate. And so I feel, because I keep to the precepts as much as I can, they're not taking alcohol as a tough one. But yeah, because I don't know, I feel the universe makes things work better for me. I also have strong feelings about end of life because as a vet, I'm privileged. I see my patients from day one through to the end of their lives, which no doctor gets to do. And I really bond with them and I get to know them and their guardians pretty well. And when it comes, that we're all going to die, that's one thing Buddhism has taught me and has helped me to be able to address. And that vets, work a lot with end of life. So when it is time for them to go, it's so much nicer if they can pass themselves. I mean, I lost my dog a year ago and she passed in my arms, and even though it was unexpected and traumatic, it was also the most beautiful thing to happen. So it's nice. I mean, now sometimes they won't, like some people, they say they die when their relatives leave the room, and the same thing happens with animals. They'll pass at 3 a.m. in the morning, but it's nice for them to pass at home. I support that with remedies, and there are lots of ways of doing it. You've got the classic arsenicum 10M, or I use Paul Thurio's Welwitschia remedy after I listened to your podcast about that. Blown away by that podcast, actually. That's the most fun.
Well, you can tell Paul yourself in Bali because he'll be there. I actually just interviewed him this morning.
Oh, great.
His bird book is finished now, so there's another episode. Well, his will come up before your one, so you can listen to that one, but you'll see him in Bali.
Yeah. He works closely with Kim Kalina, who I went to the Inspiring Homeopathy retreat with. Incredible.
Amazing. Well, she's booked in, I think, November. It's quite far ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. Amazing. So, yeah, when it's time for them to go, you can use a high potency of their constitutional remedy. And then I learned at the Inspiring Homeopathy retreat, hydrogen 10M, particularly the C8 titration, is an end-of-life remedy. And I'll often give an owner a kit, like not a kit, but I'll speak to them and they'll give me a few symptoms, and I'll give them some things like tarantula and for the restlessness, and they'll just work with all very high potency. And then frequently it works, but sometimes it doesn't. And if you need to help them with drugs, with an overdose of anesthetic, then that, there's no judgment there. I hate to see an animal suffering, and sometimes they just hang on. No matter how much their guardian says it's time, you can go, I'll be fine, they won't leave.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. They just need that little. And then, when I do it, and I asked the monk, was it all right to euthanize an animal when it's suffering? And he said, nope. you're breaking a precept.
Really?
So, but that's a great thing about Buddhism. They're non-judgmental, so you break a precept.
You don't have to go and confess continuously and feel bad, feel guilty about it. That sounds like a good one to go with. We have a cat that's 17 years old that came from New Zealand with us over to Perth. So she has traveled internationally, and she literally sat there and watched both of my children being born because they were both born at home. So we often say that she actually thinks that she's their mum because she would sit on my tummy when I was pregnant with them. It was actually so annoying. She'd follow me everywhere. And the second I sit down, she would go sit on my stomach and she'd just latch on there. And even now, every night when we go to bed, so my daughter goes to bed first, she's the youngest, then the cat hops in bed with her until she sleeps. Then my son goes to bed, cat hops with him until it goes to sleep. And then my husband and I go to sleep, and then she hops on our bed. And she's actually become a bit annoying now because she's 17. And she's just like, she's just like, in your face, and she's become like extra needy. So I'm just like trying to like breathe, like she's been with you. She helped you raise your children. She was there when you birthed them. Just be with her these last few years. But she is incredible. I mean, I don't even want to think about our life without her because she's been, she was there before the kids even, and she's watched them grow up. They've watched them go from little babies to my son's taller than me now. So they're such part of the family.
Yeah. Sounds like she's taking her job too seriously. She needs to be told to, hey, you've done an amazing job and now you can retire.
Yeah, she has done an amazing job. She really has. And it's really, I always said that I want to adopt, dogs from a shelter, not get puppies, but, just adopt an older dog. But we ended up getting 2 puppies 5 years ago because we realized she's the head of the household. And if we get older dogs, then it's not fair on her. So we did get 2 puppies. She swiped each of them in the face when they arrived, and then the hierarchy was set. And even now, even though they're, so much bigger than her, if she's in the way, they will just like stand there and wait for her to pass. So they won't pass until she's like ready to go.
That's what I love about that.
Oh, sorry. I could probably talk about my animals all day. I'm sure you're the same, hey?
Yeah, that's what I love about my job. That's all I do.
Oh, that's amazing. So it sounds like, Pat Ahern has been on the podcast, well, he's more the agri, but he also uses it with his animals. And he had a conference recently as well. Did you make it to that one?
No, unfortunately I didn't. No.
Yeah.
But I heard great things about it on the there, and it was really vibrant and really,
There's stuff happening in Ireland. You guys are like really on the ball with your homeopathy, using the agri homeopathy and animal homeopathy. And, you've got an incredible homeopathy school there as well. So things are, homeopathy is going off in Ireland.
Yeah. I mean, the problem is that there's nowhere for homeopathic vets to practice because you need to have an accredited premises to do what they call a veterinary procedure. And that includes a consultation.
Oh.
That puts vets who want to practice homeopathy under huge financial stress because they have to, rent a premises, get planning permission,
So you can't be like a mobile vet?
No.
Really?
Yeah, you can do that in the UK, but not in Ireland. So my big plan is to set up because I have the practice. That's why I have my own practice, but it kind of fell into my lap. It wasn't easy, but it's, what I would like to do is set up some branches to give vets somewhere to work from. I live in Dublin, and it's it's the capital, and most holistically minded vets live in the west of Ireland, where Janie Lavette lives.
Oh,
It's like Cork, where it's just beautiful, and they're more holistically minded people. So my big idea is to set up some practices in the west.
It's so crazy the things that they'll do to just make life hard for us, hey? That's just so unnecessary. But what do you do then if you're a horse vet? I mean, you're going to be mobile then because you're going to need to...
Yeah, you still need a premises
to
work.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, it's less strict for large animal vets. Less equipment is required. But for small animal vets, you have to have an X-ray and blood testing, kennels, exercise area. It's quite a lot.
Wow. Oh, my goodness. So if people want to register with the British Association of Homeopathic Vets, do you have general membership as well? Or is it only do you have to be a vet, or do you have like a newsletter that people can subscribe to, or how can people find out more about it?
You can find out from the website, but you do have to be a vet to register. And there is the Irish Society of Veterinary Homeopaths, but we're very, very small and new. We don't really have we have a website, the Irish Society of Homeopathic Veterinary Surgeons. But we're involved with the International Association, so they have a website as well.
Okay. Amazing. And if people want to get hold of you and your clinic, how do they do that?
Through the website. I'm in Portmarnock, portmarnockvets.ie.
Incredible. Anything else you want to share with us, Emily? I mean, two of us are going to be sitting poolside in Bali with, it'll be mocktails if you're Buddhist, with mocktails, sipping mocktails, having a good old chat. So we can catch up lots more there. But for our listeners, is there any last thing that you want to leave them with?
I think it's to ask your vet for a homeopathic or holistic solution to your pet. Because I think a lot of vets are in an echo chamber and they don't see there's a demand. People have given up asking, or they just don't expect to, receive homeopathic or holistic treatment. Even some of the clients coming into my practice haven't actually asked for it and they've seen a conventional vet instead. So yeah, it's to show vets that there is a demand there, and hopefully enough of them will see that it's a marketing opportunity. So it's a business opportunity as well as, a way of life.
Oh, I love that. Good thinking. Good thinking. Amazing. Oh, Emily, thank you so much for today. I honestly can't wait to hang out with you in person. And thanks for coming and sharing with us your love for animals. And I hope, if there are any vets, hopefully most of them that are eligible are signed up with you, the homeopathic vets. But in case not, I hope they sign up. And I hope your conference in September is going to be hugely successful with loads of homeopaths and vets and everyone joining. And yeah, hopefully if enough people ask their vets now before September, hopefully those vets will go along to the conference.
Yeah. And it's being advertised in the veterinary profession. So.
Oh, really? In the conventional veterinary?
Yes.
Oh, amazing. Oh, here's hoping. Fingers crossed. Alrighty. See you very soon.
Yeah, see you soon. Take care. Bye.